All right, we're back in the Morning Brew with Larry Aarons with Dan Mayfield from Albuquerque Business First. Neat thing having you around. If I don't know the guest, you do.
It seems like it. It's
Yeah,
awesome
and you
because
know
I've known
Ricky
Ricky
here.
for a while. I've been
Have you?
writing about his company Jackson's and all the fighters he's trained for, I don't know, maybe 15 years almost, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have been on a roll.
Yeah, so Coach Greg Jackson and Mike Winklejohn are the guys that are actually responsible for the main success here. I get to do all the fun stuff and be the public spokesperson and talk about what we've done in Albuquerque and
That's
as
great.
a team. So.
And now international.
Yeah.
You were just telling us about all the new licensing. That's amazing.
Yeah, so we're expanding internationally. We are opening up the Jackson's Martial Arts and Fitness Academies, which took us about 7 years to develop the curriculum and start launching those gyms. And we have 8 of them around the world, and just finished Kuwait and Kuwait City. And
Wow.
Abu Dhabi and Canada next month are the hopefuls to get those launched. And so it's
Then
been pretty
Australia and where else?
good. Actually, in the United States, we've done Delaware, Philadelphia, Alamosa, New Mexico. We just opened last week. Artesia and Colorado Springs. So yeah, we've been busy.
Man,
That's amazing.
this is cool. How did we get to be the best in the world at this, training MMA fighters? What is it that made all this work?
Well, it started in 1992 by my boss, Coach Greg Jackson. He opened his first gym in Albuquerque on West Central. He was 17 years old. His parents gave him the money for his first set of mats, and he was kind of sharing a building. And his passion for teaching martial arts transferred over into the mainstream, where you see guys like Diego Sanchez, local favorite, go on The Ultimate Fighter on Spike TV at the time and win the television show and kind of bring notoriety back to Albuquerque for fighting. And Greg never actually, ironically, wanted to be a part of that. He wanted to just teach martial arts to kids and students. And somehow we got wrapped into to the UFC's explosive growth, and we never wanted to move. We've had offers to take this on other places for a lot of money, and Albuquerque's our home, and so we've set up shop here. We have 5 companies that we run here, including the one which is tomorrow night, where we kind of use it as a launching ground, the Jackson's MMA series, which will be at the Crown Plaza tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock, where we fight our fighters before they go on the big show.
Who's fighting tomorrow night?
Yeah.
Adam Ramirez and Michael Ashmar.
Asmar, yeah. So Michael Asmar is actually one of our instructors at our Jackson's Martial Arts and Fitness Academy, which is up off Eubank in Candelaria. And that is a gym where it's just open to families and everybody to get in shape. I think the stigma is that we beat the crap out of each other. And we do that at the San Mateo and Central location, which is not open to the public. But Mike is our head instructor over at our Eubank and Candelaria location. He'll be fighting on Friday night.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And these guys, do they really get as hurt as they look like they get hurt on TV?
No.
This is one of those things, you watch the show and they're bloody and they're beat up, and then you see them the next day and they're just like walking around like regular guys, you know?
Yeah.
Do they really get that beat up when you see them?
You know, I mean, surface cuts are there, and of course, guys do get knocked out. I think the thing with mixed martial arts is a lot of people are freaked out and they say, "Oh, that's too brutal for me," you know.
Right.
But the thing is that in the NFL, there's so many injuries and there's so many head injuries every single game, over and over again. And you know, I can only generate as much force from me to you to hurt you, and I can't take a 30-yard run to hit you and spare you with a helmet, you know. So I think the surface cuts, those all heal. The brain injuries are, I think, what we're all worried about, and whether it's in mixed martial arts or football or hockey, I mean, that's something in the future that, you know, mixed martial arts, I don't think you'll see as big of a blowback.
For those not familiar, what's the difference between training for boxing and training for this?
Mixed martial arts, there's so many aspects, there's so many ways to end a fight, and that's good in a sense for your health, because you know, you can get arm barred, you can get leg locked, you can get heel hooked, you can give up, the ref can stop it, the towel can be thrown in. It's not just boxing. The point really is to get points and knock someone out. And of course in mixed martial arts, if you knock someone out, you win, and that's an objective too. But I think the thing is that there's so many different ways to end it. In boxing, I think you see a lot of guys, unfortunately, at very young ages, start to have, you know, brain injuries and slurring, and because you take a lot of rounds in practice, because the point is to hit each other in the face.
Yeah.
Right.
But with mixed martial arts too, you have to learn so many different disciplines.
Absolutely.
You have to learn jiu-jitsu, you have to learn boxing, you have to learn all of, like, how many different strategies do you have to learn? How many different actually disciplines do you have to be a master of to
Well,
do this?
I mean, we mixed martial arts, and with Greg's curriculum that we use at the academy, we take a lot of the different martial arts, whether it's kung fu or jiu-jitsu or kajikembo or karate or taekwondo or jiu-jitsu. You know, we throw all that together. But I think the main thing that people recognize, you know, there's wrestling, there's what they call ground and pound. That's when you get to the ground and you punch, so punching on the ground. Kickboxing and jiu-jitsu. So there's 4 real aspects of it, and depending on the art that you choose, there are many effective arts. Taekwondo has many effective kicks. Karate has many effective, you know, punches. So, but just taking the bits and pieces of those and putting them together.
Very cool. This is something that you guys teach anybody, right?
Absolutely. My oldest student is 75, so it's for anybody, and my youngest is 4. So yeah, but we do not, in the kids, we only teach them based on what's acceptable for their age group, as well as we work with the parents as far as how's little Johnny doing in school, how is his grades, you know, how's he doing little sister. So it's actually a discipline program based on helping kids in school and fitness and education. And we just subsequently, it just happens to work good in a cage, and we don't encourage that on our kids by any means. But it's an excellent martial art, and it's very effective.
That you get in shape doing this.
Oh, yeah.
In a big way.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Man.
And I think what a lot of people don't realize, too, I think this might be one of the reasons you guys are so good here in Albuquerque is because you get to do it at altitude.
Absolutely.
You know, we're Albuquerque's at, 6,000 feet. And,
Yeah.
and that's a rare thing. I think a lot of people don't train at altitude, and that really helps when you go to California or wherever else to fight, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And the thing is, a lot of these guys, there's nothing to do here in Albuquerque for a lot of these guys to get in trouble. So when they're in Vegas and they're in California and they're in New York, and then they come here and they're like, what do you guys do? We train at altitude, and we eat and we sleep mixed martial arts, and that's what makes us effective.
Yeah. Live it and breathe it.
Everybody's
Make it a
focused.
lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you get contacted by would-be fighters from all over the world that want to come here and work out with you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. We're actually becoming more of an international hub. We'd love to produce local talent like we used to with the Keith
Right.
Jardines and the Diego Sanchez and the John Dotsons. But the reality of it is we're pulling in Olympic athletes from Dagestan and Russia and China. We have Mexico. So it's really become an international hub.
Wow.
For Albuquerque to kind of bring it all together.
That's very cool.
This event tomorrow night, this is kind of like fighters that want to get into the big time, right? This is like AAA baseball.
That's
before they hit the
perfect.
major leagues,
Yeah,
right?
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
But the quality is there, and these are up-and-coming stars.
Absolutely. We simulate the UFC as far as with the DJs and the lighting and the sound in the event, because we want them to feel what it's going to be like before they go in front of 2 million people on pay-per-view, and that pressure is going to be
Yeah.
much higher. So we simulate that and make them feel like rock stars, and the crowd wins as well.
Cool.
Well, how many fighters have you guys trained? I know there's been a million, but how many have you trained that have actually gone on to the big show at UFC? I mean, you mentioned some of the names, but there's more than
Yeah.
that, I'm sure.
Right now, just out of Albuquerque alone, we have 40 guys that are actually contracted with the UFC itself.
Wow.
So over just under half my roster, we have almost 100 people in there now are actually already contracted to the big show.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And they
How about business reporter turned MMA fighter?
You know, I thought about that for 1 minute. And when I was covering the fights, I asked Danny Romero back in the day to give me just a nice little punch.
Yeah,
Knock me
that makes
halfway
sense.
across the room. And I couldn't believe it. And I was like, you know, you see these guys and you think, oh, I could do it. And you take one little punch and you're like, nope.
No.
I know that is not my thing.
A lot of respect, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Hey, man, this is great to learn. Again, the card starts at 7 tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's located...
Crown Plaza.
Crown Plaza. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
which is a pretty good fight venue, actually.
Yeah,
They set up
yeah.
a great stage there,
Nice.
good lighting, and like, of
Yeah.
course, the DJs and everything make it. It's really more of a party than it is a fight. Once you add the
Yeah.
DJs and the lighting and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we're excited. So yeah, Buffalo Thunder, and we just did a big deal with Buffalo Thunder, or I'm sorry, we did Crown Plaza on Friday night, and then we signed a big deal with Buffalo Thunder February 7th. So we're going to take
Very
the show up
cool.
to Santa Fe in February, and it's kind of where we, like you said, the AAA team, where we test those guys before we put them into the big show and make sure
Yeah.
they're ready.
Beautiful.
Very cool.
Great to meet you and learn more about the worldwide reach of Jackson's now. It's really great. Congrats on everybody's success down there.
Yeah, next time I'm here, we'll get an octagon for Larry and me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds not like a plan.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be not good. Okay. Well, hey, Ricky Kottenstette with us from Jackson's. We'll be back in a moment here on the Morning Brew right after this.